The preceding public service message has been brought to you in cooperation with the National Basketball Association. The NBA on CBS is sponsored by Light Beer, everything you always wanted in a beer and less. The new 1978 Chevrolets now at your Chevy dealers everywhere. And by Pepsi Cola and your local Pepsi Cola bottler. Have a Pepsi Day.
We're back here in Portland, Oregon. The score at halftime is 59-50. The Trail Blazers lead. You're looking at some of the halftime statistics, and the rebounding's a big factor in this one, Gus Johnson.
I would definitely say that the rebounding is a big factor. The simple fact is that New Orleans has 7 offensive rebounds. Portland has 13 offensive rebounds, and that has been a big factor. Like I said, they're not giving them any more than one shot at the hoop, and all their shots are coming from out front. And
New Orleans does not have as many shots from the field. You see the difference there. Although the Jazz is shooting better statistically, they are shooting outside. They're not getting that second effort. And the individual statistical report is interesting because it's been a whale of an afternoon for the two men high on the totem pole, Lionel Hollins and Bill Walton. Hollins is 8 for 9, and Walton is 8 out of 14. And also Walton has 10 rebounds, and each of them have 4 assists, so they've done it all. As you see the individual scoring for the Portland Trail Blazers.
They have. They've played a very fine game right up to now. What has happened, though, is that somehow Maurice Lucas has gotten lost in the shuffle some way. I don't know if you can say it's fair that Truck Robinson has neutralized him or not, but Maurice is only 1 for 7, and he's only played 16 minutes, and he has not done a very good job.
Pete Maravich, on the other hand, came alive in that second quarter, limited to only 2 points in the first period. Maravich now is 7 out of 16. He has the 16 points. And back of him, Truck Robinson, the man acquired in the trade, has 6 rebounds to go with his 5 for 8, 24-minute effort in the first 2 periods. And he has the 12, as you see. Gail Goodrich has played only 12 minutes, was 2 out of 3. The leading assist man is Paul Griffin. Oddly enough, the guy who came off the bench, he has 3 assists. And as we told you, the top assist man for Portland was Walton and Hollins, each with 4.
Well, I think a very instrumental part of that comeback that they made, too, was that when they brought Slick Watts in the game, they attempted to get some penetration, and he kind of set up a couple of plays, and they got a couple rolling to the hoop and a couple of fouls, and that did help them somewhat.
Gus Johnson, the last man who sat next to me in an NBA telecast, is now the coach of the Seattle Supersonics, Len Wilkin.
And he's doing a super job. I've worked with Lenny a little bit this summer out in Vegas, and hats off to him.
No question about it. He's got that club in 3rd place, and they are winning by 1 at halftime, playing against Golden State this afternoon.
And that game is in Golden State, isn't it?
Yes, sir. I believe it is. No, it is not. It is in Seattle. Beg your pardon. That game played in Seattle, and it's a 1-point lead at halftime. Incidentally, other games, Washington knocked off New Jersey 99-98. Boston and Philadelphia, the 76ers won by 3, 94-91 in that game. And here we go, as bringing it up is Goodrich against Twardzik. 59-50. The lead is 9 for Portland. We're in the 3rd quarter. Maravich pumps from outside, and the rebound by Lionel Hollins. Hollins working on the back line up against Maravich and Goodrich, respectively. Walton in the hole against Kelly, passing into Lucas. Lucas is now 1 out of 8. Last touch by whom? Last touch by the men.
I think Luke's just working a little bit too hard. He hasn't had the shots that he's wanted, and he's forcing them now.
Last touch by the men in purple, and so the ball goes over to Portland. Hollins hitting outside. What an afternoon. Lionel Hollins is 9 out of 10.
And he's picking up right where he left off at halftime.
So Hollins, 9 out of 10, has pumped in 21 points. Lionel Hollins, 24 years of age. That's outside. Bob Gross working on the big guy with the ball, Aaron James, who shoots way outside.
That was out in the corner someplace.
That was out in left field. He's got 2. That's Lucas looking to the hoop again. He's missed, so he's missed 2, and Hollins follows and misses maybe his easiest shot of the afternoon. Lucas finally scores.
Well, if you hang in there long enough, it's got to come your way, and he hung in there and proved it.
That's 4 points for Maurice Lucas. And the score is 63-52. Robinson missing outside, and the rebound taken away by Gross. Over to Twardzik. Twardzik, who can go either side, uses his body well. Rebounded by Robinson. Robinson in the first half. Rebounding very well. Over to Goodrich.
Good hustle by Gale. He followed the ball in and got it right back and laid it up.
Robinson has 7 rebounds in the game. Walton has 10. 10.5 minutes to go. We're in the 3rd quarter. It's the Blazers 63. The Jazz 59. Biggest lead was 14. That's Walton inside on a fine play. Kelly got lost in the shuffle.
Very great example of the pick and roll right there. Executed beautifully.
11-point lead with 10:18 to go. We're speaking to you in the third quarter. That's Gail Goodrich to go inside, and Walton with a foul against Kelly, and Kelly will go to the line. You know, Gus, one of the amazing things is that you just don't find a scorer consistently with the league stats on the Portland club.
No, you don't. And the amazing thing about it is that that's the same way Boston was when they ran off all those championships. They never had anybody in the top 20 as far as scoring, and Portland has nobody in the top 20 in the NBA as far as scoring.
Very interesting indeed. Rich Kelly at the line. It's no one in the top 20 as the Portland Trailblazers are obviously a very fine team. Great team effort. That's Gross bringing it up. 10 minutes to go. 65-55 third quarter. Lionel Hollins trying to elude Maravich. Out of bounds. Walton throws it away.
Come on now, gang. Thank you.
On the back line, Gail Goodrich and Pete Maravich. Maravich has been scoring well of late. That's Kelly taking Walton outside, and Goodrich with a soft touch, but Walton with a rebound. Dvorak with a great outlet pass. Uses the body, gets two, and he's fouled in the act of shooting.
I'll tell you, he's one of the smartest small ball players, or one of the smartest men going to the hoop as far as protecting. Here he comes down the hoop now. He's going to the hoop. He crosses under the bucket, uses his body to protect himself, and lays it in and draws a foul. Beautifully executed.
He is the leading field goal percentage shooter in the league, 69%. He's trying to meet the minimum number of field goals required to qualify. He's got 139 going into the game. The requirement through today's game is 137. But he does lead the league. But he's going to have to shoot more. He should have won it last year, but didn't shoot enough. Now it is 68-55, the lead of 13. Maravich with the ball. The team in dark, with Kelly going to the hoop, missing it, and Walton again with a great outlet pass. It's a 3-on-1 break. Lucas with a great playmaking effort and a foul on the play.
Sure was.
But Gus, the key to the play is Walton with the release.
Well, that's the big key right there. Here he comes now. We miss the release. He gives the ball up. Hollins draws a foul.
That is the fourth foul against Pete Maravich and could decidedly affect the outcome of the game. It is a 13-point lead, but Maravich has been their big gun.
Very much. He's carrying the load for him, too.
Now we have 22 points for Lionel Hollins. When Maravich has scored 40 or more last year, New Orleans was 10-3. So those of you who may be doubting Thomas's and say a man who scores a lot, you don't win. With Maravich, it's gone the other way. It's 70-55, 9:15 to go in the third quarter. The team in white, Portland leading. They're the world champs. Aaron James has it stolen by Hollins, and he fouled him.
Boy, he made a big steal right here on the top of the line. I don't know if we'll get to see that one again or not, but he was right there.
That is his fourth foul, Gus, so Hollins is going to have to come out of the ball game soon with 4 fouls. That is Watts in the ball game. Slick coming on for Maravich, who has to come out of there. Goodrich making his move on a former UCLA star, Bill Walton, and a great play. It's lost by Goodrich.
There he is. He's a man that just does it all for him. He sets the plays up. He blocks the shots for him. He gets the big rebounds and makes the outlet.
Now Portland brings it up. 9 minutes to go. 70-55. It has been at times, as Gus, you have said, a clinic here in Portland. The fans enjoying it. Kelly tries to steal it away, and they've called a foul on the guy from Stanford.
Well,
at the line, it'll be Bill Walton.
He brought that foul on himself. He gave the man too much room to go one way, and he went the other way, and he couldn't make up the deficit.
So it will be against the Jazz, the third team foul. It is a second team foul situation against the Blazers. Not a shooting foul. Lucas double pumping on Kelly. Means Walton's a loose somewhere. Hollins missing outside, and that is Lucas underneath. Oh, he powered his way by Kelly.
Well, he just took that ball and went to the hoop with all the authority that he normally does.
A 20-point lead, and we have a timeout called by New Orleans. They are being blitzed by the Portland Trailblazers. And the crowd is roaring. We have third period situation with 8.5 to go, 72-55. We're back here in Portland, and there's a shot of Elgin Baylor, or behind Rich Kelly, just about to sit down. He is sitting down. You can't see him behind number 53, but with him in the jacket, the leather jacket, is Bill Burtka, his assistant coach. There's Elgin sitting down now. What a performer, Elgin Baylor.
Tell you, he's one of those guys that you could never write a book about, because they say he couldn't do this, he couldn't do that, he could do that, and you come out and try to do him one way, and he'd completely do the other thing. I mean, he was the type of guy that you could learn something from when playing basketball. It was a psych job in itself, just knowing that you had to play against him.
No doubt about it. One of the great small rebounders I've ever seen in the NBA. I can recall battles between Gus Johnson and Elgin Baylor up front. We're back to live action here. That's Aaron James with the ball, representing New Orleans. Gail Goodrich trying to go inside to Truck Robinson. Back over to Stumpy. Double team. Then he hits Watts. Notice how they'll give Watts the outside shot, and they'll double team Gail.
Well, that's a problem there when you have Slick in the game and Gail's shooting the ball, or if Pete's in there, they can't afford to sag back and let him have that shot and double team somebody else.
I guess really one of the reasons they traded off Slick in Seattle was because of Gus Williams.
Coming into his own.
Yes, sir. That's Fordzik underneath. It is 72-55 with 8 minutes to go in the third quarter here. Walton setting a pick. That's good. If the ball hits the top of the backboard this year, it's in play.
It's in as long as it doesn't go over in back of the basket.
That's Slick Watts with it, 74-55. In years gone by, they used to call a play on top of the board. They'd call it out of bounds. Not anymore.
Maybe things will go for Luke now. That one there rolled all over and fell in.
Robinson is corked from behind. And the man who corked him was Lucas. Luke now has 2 fouls, and he's not too pleased about it.
They look for Truck right now. They bring the ball into him. He's going baseline. He gives a nice fake right here, and he gets Luke up in the air and gets a foul.
So Truck Robinson, nicknamed because he resembles a truck. He really goes to the hoop.
With authority. He's a very strong young man.
No doubt about it. Leonard Truck Robinson, drafted number 2 by Washington, went from Washington to Atlanta in a switch of number 1s plus Tom Henderson.
And both teams come out all right in the trade.
A free agent in June and picked up by this club. Now it's 74-56. The Blazers leading over the Jazz. 7.5 minutes to go, third quarter. Twardzik battling Goodrich, stolen away by Kelly. Kelly against the smallest man on the field. He boots it. Twardzik bothered him.
That's a problem when you get a guy that's 7 foot trying to dribble the length of the basketball court, and he's got any kind of pressure. What he should have did was stopped, held the ball up, and give it off to a guard.
Kelly at 7 feet and Twardzik a tall 7'1". I think they fudge a little on that. That's Walton with it inside. He's finding Lucas. He's got it, and he's fouled and knocked down, and he's all right.
Well, like I said, things are starting to go his way now. I think he's hit his last 4 or 5 hoops in a row, and they're falling in from all angles.
The Los Angeles Lakers were beaten at Indiana this afternoon, 104-103, and that thud you heard was Los Angeles at 17-21 in the Pacific Division selling. They're going to have to turn that around.
Yes, yes, yes.
I guess with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar getting his game down, they could turn it around and still get in the playoffs.
Well, if any one man can turn it around, I'd say Kareem can do it.
Now Watts brings it up, and it's 77-56. The lead is 11 for Portland with 7 minutes to go. We're in the third quarter. That's Aaron James. Double pump. He finally gets Gross off stride. Misses it. Robinson climbs all over Twardzik.
Well, I mean, he went after that ball, too. He just got run over by a Mack truck.
That is the second foul against the big guy. He didn't like the call. From Tennessee State. Truck Robinson, 6'7", 230. Louis Schafel calls him one of the top 5 forwards in the NBA. That's why he made the move to get it. At the line, Dave Twardzik. Twardzik from Old Dominion.
Very steady ball player, hardly makes any mistakes.
Oddly enough, he was drafted by the Blazers in '72, but played in the ABA. Played again. Did you play in the ABA? You never played,
I was player coach there in '73, my last year before I retired.
How well did he do in the ABA?
Fairly well, fairly well.
Well, he does it all now with this club.
He's smart.
Smart ball player. That's Goodrich moving on, and Truck Robinson. Good effort underneath by Walton. Watts has it back over to Kelly. Kelly eluding Bob Gross.
Very good pass. He pulled Walton and Twardzik to the hoop and laid it off to the man going.
6.5 to go, third quarter. The lead is 11. Portland has had the lead throughout most of the game, down by 3 early in the first quarter. Roared back to take a 10-point lead in the first period. Lucas underneath. A 14-point lead in the second quarter.